What's going on? We are back with the Sideline Specialist episode number 32. We got the Super Bowl preview coming up shortly here. The NBA trade deadline was absolutely nuts. All of a sudden, Luka Doncic is headed to LA, and we're going to look in at the NHL season. Going to maybe touch on some WNBA free agency. That was also some pretty good cinema. So without further ado, let's get things popping.
Welcome to Sideline Specialists.
Oh, okay. What's going on, Tom? How you doing?
I'm feeling good. I feel like my entire body is still recovering from some BS illness last week, but
I can't stand that shit. Everyone's getting sick lately.
dude, the amount of call outs at my work. It's like one person misses 3 days, then another person misses 3 days, and it's just like a freaking domino effect, man. I was the third one in the domino line.
Oh God.
There were 2 before me, and there's been like 7 after me. It's like, okay, sick. But like it's annoying because I'm in a good mood, but I have no energy.
Right.
So you can't express that you're in a good mood because you're just like, so,
But mentally you're like, yeah.
yeah. Mentally, I'm like, this is awesome, and my body's like, this is awesome, sick, dude. It's the best.
The good thing is, at least for my job, people, if they don't feel well, they're like, I'm just gonna work from home, and it's like, good, stay working from home.
Facts.
We don't want to catch what you have.
Yeah,
but
we need to get the robots with like a little screen on them, so I could just like web face cam from home and be a server still.
They like roll through.
Yep. Be like, hi there. I'm sitting somewhere that like is just a completely different building. What would you like to eat today?
But instead of me getting sick, I just decided to really strain my calf really bad playing volleyball where I could barely walk. So that was fun.
God damn, dude.
The second time in 2 weeks, so even better.
Was it jumping or landing?
The first time I did it 2 weeks ago was jumping. And then this time was just pushing off of the same leg to sprint to go get a ball.
Got it.
Yeah.
Tough.
And it was like a pop in my calf every time. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Anytime you feel or hear any kind of pop in your legs, you're like, please no.
Yeah. Oh, immediately I was like trying to move my ankle around. I'm like, please don't be torn. Please allow me to have all bodily functions.
I got things to do, bro.
Exactly. I would like to be able to walk.
I have these things called stairs in my home, and I need to get up them. So thank you very much.
Exactly. When you're either in an apartment or a townhome, there's no such thing as not being able to go up the steps.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like 30 going on 80. You're like, I need that standard stair lift, bro. Get me one.
Exactly. I'm already dreaming of like a regular house where it's like I only have to go up the steps to go to bed. Everything else, I don't have to touch the steps.
Facts. Just crawl. You're just like army crawling each step at a time. You're like, oh.
My dogs are just looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You just see the dogs do this. They're just like, do the head tilt. You're like, oh.
And I'm like, leave me alone.
They're judging. This sucks.
Oh, man.
God.
But, I mean, we might as well jump into things with the biggest topic of the week because that's obviously what's going to be on everybody's mind.
I agree.
It is officially Super Bowl time. We are a mere, 3 days away from the Super Bowl?
Yup.
We have plenty of both regular betting lines and fun betting lines. I know there's a lot of sports books that do the like what color is the Gatorade that gets dumped and all sorts of different things like that.
I think it's be grape.
Oh, you got grape.
I think
Okay.
it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a just curveball because that is just not what anyone's anticipating. I think it's usually yellow or orange.
I like that. I like that idea. I mean, I think I'm gonna go red.
Okay, fruit punch, fair.
Yeah. Go with the whole like because like the whole logo and everything, you got the
Yeah,
red and green colors. I'm gonna say red.
watch them pull out
Um
lime because there's fucking green in the logo. I'd be sick. I'd be ill because that shit sucks. But
Oh, I cannot drink lemon lime Gatorade anymore
mhm.
because as somebody with Crohn's disease, I've drank that too many times for colonoscopies. So literally if I smell it or drink it, yeah, that
Ooh,
makes me throw up.
got you. Yeah, that'll do it. That's like me with Fireball. If I get a
Ooh.
whiff of Fireball anywhere in my vicinity, I am out of there. Out of
Ugh.
there. That shit is so ass anyway. But
I can't
PTS,
stand Fireball either.
PTSD, bro.
Oh, yeah, that's disgusting.
The worst.
um, but as of right now, Chiefs are -1 on the spread. The total over under is set at 48.5. This is for ESPN bet, just because I have that up right now.
Yep.
And the money line, the Eagles are even.
Yep. I'm
So
trying to resist the urge to bet like 300 on the Eagles. I'm trying so hard, and I probably will resist because I just don't like betting on my favorite team to win. I'll probably do props, but um, yeah, I have faith in the Eagles. The one thing worrying me, at least at the moment, is like apparently a bunch of fucking defensive players are sick, so that's
oh,
a
I saw
problem.
that.
Um, Carter did practice today. It was limited, but he did show up and actually do some things. So I was like, all right, that's a good sign. But to be honest, I can't imagine any of these guys actually like missing the game.
Right.
Like I would imagine they will take whatever they have to take to be able to go on that field. It's that kind of moment that
Oh yeah.
you're gonna just do it. So um I mean matchup wise, I mean there's been so much speculation. Obviously it's a Super Bowl, so it's just every channel is talking about this game and you get so many different viewpoints because of course all of their opinions differ, which is why they apparently need different shows. I believe as a roster, the Eagles are the better team. And I don't really
Okay.
know, like position group wise, like we obviously have the better running game. Um, I think we have better wide receivers. Obviously, tight end is. I'll give it to Kelsey always, just because he's a legend. But Goddard has been exceptionally good in this playoff so far. Um, I think we have the O line advantage, although it is slight. I'm not going to say it's massive because there's some Hall of Famers on that Chiefs O line.
Right.
Joe Thuney definitely is first ballot, and if he's not, something's wrong. Um, at quarterback, obviously, I think everybody would say Mahomes, but when these two faced in a Super Bowl before, Hurts outperformed the shit out of him. So
True.
it is a case of we'll see. Obviously, the Eagles' offensive game plan this year has been so different than in years past because Saquon has just been I mean, literally to a degree of like inhumanity that I've never witnessed in my life. He is so good. Um, and that's one of
Insane.
the coolest storylines though is the like immovable object and or yeah, you know what I mean, like the unstoppable object and everything because he's rushed for like it's set of yards every game, and the Chiefs haven't given up a 100-yard rusher in 18 straight playoff games. So
Damn.
it's gonna be very interesting.
I didn't see that stat. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah, and I looked at it. Let me actually see. Um, Chiefs 100-yard rusher 18 straight. I'll just type this in and hopefully it brings up a list because I'm very curious to see if they have the other running backs listed that played in those games because I saw some of them. Um,
I know at least one of them's Gus Edwards.
I know one was Joe Mixon. I think Mixon had the highest amount of yards, actually.
That
I
would make sense
think he had 88, but
because they were the only ones to beat them, right? In the AFC.
in the play, well, it's only playoffs. It's only playoffs.
Right. That's what I mean.
I can't. Yeah, the Bengals. It would have been the Bengals, Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
From 21.
Right.
Because I think he did have a decent game then, but it is just that like hurts my brain. The other one that annoyed me was they were saying like the Fangio one. Fangio's 0-10 as a coordinator against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, he was with Denver when they didn't really have the stars they have now. Like Denver was just bad overall and was very poorly drafting. And then he was with Miami, and Miami obviously for the last couple of years has had just unreal amounts of injuries, like to very crucial players. And you can't really work with that. And what the Eagles have avoided this year, minus Nakobe Dean, is injuries in big games because obviously Brandon Graham's back.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love seeing he's coming back.
That's just, it's like too storybook for me. I'm like, please just like be back and also just do something insane. Because obviously he has the most important famous play from the first Eagles Super Bowl win when the strip sack on Brady. But like, I want him to go out on top so bad. Like, I'm hyped for this game, but I'm so nervous.
I would love to see him go out like Ray Lewis did.
Yeah.
Like embrace every moment of it, embrace the fans and like the team, because like Brandon Graham, I mean, been with the Eagles the entire time, been like the heartbeat of the team, like it just literally live up every single second of it. And I think that it would be like, especially if he made a big play, like forced a fumble or, sacked Mahomes for the win or whatever it was, that would just be fucking insane.
And it's against the coach that drafted him.
Yep.
Into the NFL. I mean, he got drafted in 2010. Played the most games as an Eagle of any Eagle in history. It just, what's up, Shaq?
What's going on, Shaq?
If there's any player that deserves to win a Super Bowl in literally their final game, it's Brandon Graham. Especially this season in particular. It's like, I remember the Ray Lewis one, and the irony that it's in the same place. That's what's crazy, is like it's the same story. And it's just, I want it from so bad. I think the Eagles match up very well defensively against what the Chiefs have, but it's about taking each individual matchup seriously, like play to play. I think Quinyon Mitchell needs to be on Xavier Worthy. I think Darius Slay needs to be on DeAndre Hopkins. I think Cooper DeJean needs to be inside on Juju. And you let Blankenship and CJ just try to execute people.
Right.
To be honest. And it's going to be tough. Obviously, it's the Chiefs. They don't really know how to lose as of late, and they get a lot of help in not losing, unfortunately, as much as the media would love to dismiss that. But it's just, we have eyes. We've watched this game our whole lives, and this shit is clearly different. So I'm not going to. Yep, go ahead.
Shaq says Graham's last game, Slay as well. Barkley's birthday. Let's go Birds. And I think it's Cooper DeJean's birthday too.
It is.
Yeah. So even more fuel for that.
Yep.
So this, first off, I always love the Super Bowl media days because you have like the mix of like serious questions along with like the hilarious questions, like Jameis Winston going around and asking people questions. Um, and then you have people like asking Dallas Goddard if he knows a Taylor Swift song, and he's like, "Is she the one that does Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls?"
Did you did you see the fucking question that dude asked Kelsey? I mean, like, he was getting railed, but like, it's
About the refs?
yeah, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was brutal question. He's like, what do you love more, Taylor Swift or phantom 15-yard roughing the passer penalties? I was like, damn, brother.
I think there was one guy that asked Mahomes who his favorite ref is.
Oh my god. It's probably the same dude. He was just cooking everybody.
It probably
Um,
was,
and
but
Jameis providing content too. Shout out Jameis Winston.
oh yeah, Jameis's content so far for this
Incredible.
cycle for the Super Bowl has been amazing.
He went on
Um,
he went on Kelsey's show. We call it late night, and he was hilarious on there because I knew he would be. And
oh
then
yeah.
asking Saquon like, "Hey, Saquon, I'm a free agent right now, dude. Where can you help me get a job?" And Saquon's like, "I think the Giants need a QB." It's like, damn, brother.
Oh, that shit was so funny.
How can you not love Jameis Winston, man? I know he had such high expectations as a player, but as a person, he's such a good human at this point.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Um,
Do you want to talk
and
about Justin Tucker? I'm going to ask you that. I have to ask you that because what the shit is going on?
dude, I
I know you have thoughts, and that's why I was like, I didn't mention it in text or anything because I was like, this is a topic that probably needs to be addressed because if this shit is true in any light, I have to treat the man the way I've been treating Deshaun Watson. I got to do it. Sorry.
that's how I feel. If it is true, then like, dude, you're fucking trash human being. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you get treated the same as Deshaun Watson at that point.
Yeah.
And the thing about this that is making me think that it probably is true is like they brought up tweets from random people that I guess just never got brought to light in like 2021 and like 2019 and stuff
Yeah.
like that about him getting kicked out of these massage places. And the fact that like those are readily available and you
Yeah.
can see them and they just never were brought up before, A makes me think why weren't they brought up
Yeah.
before?
Agreed.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, sure, like you don't know at the time if it's just some person trying to cause, made up social media drama, but if there's multiple things coming out of that at the time, and then you have the whole Deshaun Watson thing happen, why wasn't it caught then either?
Yeah.
Because now you're looking for it after the whole Deshaun Watson thing.
Exactly. Well, and the other thing too is like if it was the same like singular like massage agency, let's say,
Right.
then you'd be like, okay, maybe they're trying to do something. Like you could spin that. It's not. It's like multiple, and they don't really have affiliation, so it's not like they're gonna try and have each other's back in that. You know what I mean? It's coming from a lot of angles, and it just shocks the shit out of me because like he's married too, if I'm not wrong. And I remember that whole like when he proposed, like seeing pictures of that shit. It's like, so you're gonna tell me you were like doing that, and then you're over here trying to get handies and force people to do like, are we kidding? It's disgusting, and that's the only word for it.
I'm
And
pretty sure he has kids too, so
yeah, I'm like, brother, if you're that dissatisfied with life, you gotta seek counseling and you gotta just get the help you need. You don't go doing what you're doing. It's just not ever acceptable.
yeah. And it
So
like
I mean,
And
we will obviously see as more evidence comes out. We're not going to make any like full assumptions yet, but it's not looking good.
right. And like, don't get me wrong, with Deshaun Watson, I also in the very beginning with Deshaun Watson, I also had the same approach. I didn't have like, oh, I'm gonna like automatically say he's
Yeah.
guilty because there was a lot of things in the beginning of Deshaun Watson's cases that were fishy too, with the whole like lawyer being neighbor of the owner of the Texans and all that
Yeah.
weird stuff going on. But then we saw, yeah, it's probably true. He didn't get like brought up in the court of law, but
Yeah.
the fact that he paid everybody off pretty much shows that he had something to do with it. So I'm at that point with Justin Tucker as well, where I'm like, okay, he made a statement. He claims to deny it, but I don't know, man. It seems like there's more and more evidence coming out in against him. So I'm just like, and the thing is, it would make sense to the fact that he had this peculiarly bad season. It would make sense if like the Baltimore Banner, the I don't even know if it's a newspaper or whatever it is that like originally I guess reached out to him or told him that they're going to run this story. If he knew about this for a while now, it would make sense why he just like all of a sudden melted down.
Yeah. He's just, it's all, like all in his head. But that's
Yeah.
why now I'm scared for Jake Elliott. I'm like, what have you been doing? Because you fucking suck this year too, bud. Like, what are you doing, buddy? But
NFL guys need to stop going to massage parlors. Like,
for real. Like, if you have a girlfriend or wife, just like fucking please just figure out how to give each other massages.
right.
Just figure it out. It's got to be mutual.
Or hire a dude.
Yes. And then
Like-
it turns out that he's gay, and you're like, oh my god, it was all planned. But it's just like it's just disappointing because Tucker was one of the most likable and liked players in the league.
Right.
So you have something like this come out where there are receipts essentially from years ago that have just been sitting there, like you said. That's what makes this so much more like, oh shit, this is probably true. The fact that those aren't brand new tweets just coming out of nowhere. It's like they've just been there for years. It's just like just literally marinating, and somebody finally looked, and you're like, okay, that's not good.
Yeah. It definitely was just like at first when the first news story like popped up about it too, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like you have to like throw this guy under the bus now after he just had a terrible season and the Ravens lose.
That was like my first thought. Literally was like, okay, so he had like a horrible year, so they're just gonna make some shit up, and then it just kept like kind of building though, and I was like, okay, let me not jump to a conclusion here. Let me actually read this, and I was like, oh, this isn't looking great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yikes.
Oh god. And then of course the memes of him and Deshaun Watson immediately come together and I'm like, oh, this isn't looking good at all. And honestly, now, even if like he somehow proves it's not real, like the jokes are still gonna be there. So
Absolutely. It's
at
just
this
a bad
point, like,
situation. Like he's gonna get harassed a lot by a lot of people, which that would be expected this day and age anyway. Especially with something of this nature. And then I had to bring it up because it is one of those kind of things that we do touch on, and it's obviously your team. So it's like, fuck. I saw the headline and then found more info and was like, fuck, that's not good.
The thing that annoys me the most is like I'm like not surprised by anything now with the Ravens. Like, you know, the whole Ray Rice thing happened, the whole Ray Lewis court murder thing happened, the whole
At
now
least
the
Ray didn't do that shit. I'm sorry.
no, I agree.
So
But now the whole Justin Tucker thing. And then I'm like, all right, let me focus on basketball. Then you got the fucking Joel Embiid getting hurt and
Yeah.
Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons. And like, I can't even turn to a different sport and be like, oh,
Well,
everything's normal.
And we were so happy about Jared McCain having such a great rookie year. Hurt. You're like, give me a fucking break, bro. I don't like that's the one thing, that's the one saving grace with the Flyers is I came into the year knowing this shit's a rebuild.
Right.
I have zero expectations. They exceeded my zero last year. They didn't make the playoffs, but they played better. And then you go into this year and you're like, okay, I can just watch the games. And if it's going poorly, I can just turn it off. Like I'm not going to get super invested. Like that's my team to fall back on right now. Because I'm just going to watch the Flyers, see the young guys play, because that's what the team is now. Like there's not really that many older players. It's even the guys they traded. Like Morgan Frost is a remnant of a trade that is very vilified. We traded Braden Shen, who was he's captain of the St. Louis Blues. He's been there since we traded him there. Never should have traded him, in my opinion. And then used the first round pick we got for him on Morgan Frost, who just never turned into the player that he needed to be for where he was taken. And then Farabee was the one in that trade that I think upset people because he was also Philly Joel. It's like people liked him. He'd been here for long enough that it's just like I was okay with the trade because I understand it.
Right.
Like hockey contracts are probably the easiest to like really get your head around because they have the lowest salary cap of the big four sports. So you trade Farabee because his contract was pretty long. Like he had a few years left at a certain like average annual value. Frost was pretty cheap, but it's like you just at this point, Briere, our GM, was kind of accepting he's not going to get better than this, and we just kind of know it. So you move them to bring in a guy like Kuzmenko, whose contract ends after this year, so that money is free then, like it's open. And then the other guy that we got in the trade is younger and has kind of potential to maybe fit into a certain spot on the roster going forward if they like him. And especially with hockey, it's not like baseball where you have your 1 through 9 hitters and then fielding, etc. You have a team of 20.
Right. And
that there's set up lines where like 3 dudes go onto the ice together every single time because that's the first line. And then this guy, Pelletier, will fit on the third, is the goal, is that he could be a third line winger. And I like the trade from the perspective of getting rid of that salary cap, and then you get a little bit of draft capital. And I'm interested to see. Like obviously the Flyers are they were so good for so long. I mean, I remember there was a point, I think maybe it was 2016. They had made the playoffs in 18 of the previous 20 seasons.
That's
like
pretty good.
It was just a stretch of just like if they don't make it, it's a shock. And then it's just been a while since they've had anything to really go too nuts about. And then even the search for a franchise goalie continues because Carter Hart himself is a fucking like quasi rapist. So you're like, all right, good, fantastic,
awesome.
Yeah, that just broke my brain too. I was like, bro, I didn't even like you that much anyway because you just look like an arrogant bitch, and then you did this shit. Like, okay, like I like goalie number 1, Samuel Ersson. He's actually going to be starting for Team Sweden in this Four Nations Cup that the NHL's winging it with this
I saw
year.
the commercial for that. That seems pretty interesting.
I'm excited to shit for it. I think it's gonna be awesome. But the original starter for Sweden, Jacob Markstrom, is hurt, and Ersson got the call, and I'm stoked for him because he's also still a pretty young guy. My favorite nickname currently of any Philly athlete, he is the Iceman, which all about it. And then
oh, that's great.
they have a lot of positives to build around, but it's going to take time.
I got you.
So
I mean, we can check in with the rest of the NHL season if you just touch on that.
For sure. So I can share this. That way it's easier. Anybody watching can just go ahead and look at what I'm looking at. So obviously the standings right now, the East has been pretty fun. So you have Florida, the current reigning defending Stanley Cup champions, are leading their division again by, it is 1 point, but they are leading. Toronto right behind them, and then Ottawa has had a nice resurgence as of late, playing good hockey, and it's cool because Ottawa hasn't been good in a long time. So, and then obviously like the Flyers division, the Metropolitan, two teams I expected to see up here, and the Devils and Hurricanes, and then the Capitals just have gotten such good goaltending from Logan Thompson out of nowhere.
Okay.
Like, they were supposed to not be what they are, but they just don't give up goals when he is in net. So it is I think quite literally the Capitals have the lowest goals allowed in the entire Eastern Conference. So
that's crazy. And Shaq here says his family are big Oilers fans. As you guys know, I'm a Philly guy, but Edmonton is well in my heart.
Okay. You and I would be villains of each other because my family are Canucks fans, and right now that fucking franchise is going through an absolute dumpster fire of a situation. So that is a disaster for them. We can go over to the West. Obviously, the Flyers are quite lowly. We are second from the bottom in the entire East.
Yikes.
However, and here's what's crazy about the East. They're only 7 points out of a playoff spot, which is 3 wins and 1 OT loss. Like, they're not that far away.
Yeah, that's not crazy.
But they're not getting there, so it's fine. We go over to the West. The Jets were a juggernaut last year. They are again because Connor Hellebuck is the best goalie in the NHL, period. And they score. They're going to be the first team to 200 goals, I'm pretty sure. They're at 198, and no other team is even at 190 yet. So they're definitely going to be there first. They've won 7 straight. They have a plus 67 goal diff, which in hockey is insane at the point of the season we're at. There's still 27 games to go for them. Yeah, they're nuts. Definitely a team that's in contention for a deep playoff run if they can actually just show up in the playoffs for fucking once. Marc-Andre Fleury is on his retirement tour on the Minnesota Wild, who are third in their division at the moment, which is awesome. Flowers such a lovable player. But this just blows my mind too. So the Sharks and Blackhawks have had the back-to-back first overall picks.
Right.
They're going to go 1-2 in this draft too. Like, it's just a race to see who gets number 1, because they do have a lottery, so there is it can flip-flop a little bit, but it's a little bit different than the NBA one in the way the percentages work.
Okay. It's still where the bottom team has the highest percent, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's tiered pretty deep. Like the Flyers were 12th. Like their projected pick was 12th, and it is what they ended up with. But they could have ended up picking as high as 5th.
Gotcha.
But that's what's cool is there's teams that are kind of low, like the last team in the lottery. They can't go number 1 necessarily all the time, but they could get upgraded somehow, which is cool. Does not happen very often. But the West has been intriguing because certain teams started off pretty hot and have really just faltered. And then other teams that were fully expected to be bad are bad. But a team that was not expected to be anywhere near where they are in the standings is Nashville. Wow. They went on a hero run at the end of last season, made the playoffs, went pretty deep. Not this year. They signed a bunch of older guys, and it is just not working. It is not working at all. They are
Yikes.
they are an atrocity. They're the lowest scoring team, I think, maybe in the entire NHL. Yes, they are.
Oof.
Yeah, it's been rough. I actually can't imagine what it's like to be cheering for that team right now.
I actually did see, I don't remember if you sent it to me or if I just saw it scrolling, but I saw the reason why Utah couldn't pick the name Yetis, because I remember on the podcast we brought up all the names when they were
Yeah,
asking for a fan vote, and we both liked Yetis.
yeah.
But the whole reason was because of the brand Yeti.
Oh my god, bro.
And, like, the coloring and the way the logos were for Utah and for the Yeti brand were apparently, like, too close, and I'm like, "Then fucking change it."
Yeah.
Like, change the type of logo, but just keep Yetis. Like, I don't understand what's going on here.
No, but even like you're gonna change from Utah Hockey Club to Utah Yetis. You should be changing that shit anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like this was supposed to be a filler, but now the now Hockey Club is actually like one of the final three. And I don't hate it. I actually think I like the look of the uniforms a lot. It's like really classy, but it's just like you could have had a pretty unique, cool name
Right.
in the vein of what Seattle did with Kraken, but they just kind of hit a home run in my opinion. Like their logo right off rip was just so good.
Oh, I
Like
agree.
Seattle's colors and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's flawless. So they did a great job just like as a new team coming in.
Yeah,
Um
I do agree with that.
and Seattle is a sports town. They needed some more than just the Mariners and the Seahawks for sure. So
They still should have basketball. I still don't understand why they don't.
100%. It's like it's not like you don't have the stadium for it. You literally
Exactly.
do. Like make it work. But oh, and the Capitals have tied the game because of course they have. Was it Ovechkin? Because then I'll be like not as mad. Hold on, I'm curious now. Nope, it was Lars Eller, old ass man. God damn it. So what I'll do now is I'll switch over to stats. Just look at a couple of the leaders. So Connor Hellebuck has been the best goalie in the NHL for a while. I'll say actually.
Okay.
Winnipeg starter. He's like absolutely incredible. Like if we just go to his career, I mean, we're looking at he's currently leading the NHL in goals against at 2.04, which is unbelievably like that is so low for a
Yeah.
guy who's played 42 games. As he's getting older, he's just getting better. Like you go from 21, 22 to now, it's everything gets better. Like he had 5 shutouts in 60 games last year and won the Vezina, which is the best goalie award. He's got 6 already in 42 games this year. It's just he's unbelievable.
So ridiculous.
He's
Oh,
just
and
he's
Shaq says, "Isn't Yeti a damn water bottle
yeah.
brand? Give me a break." Yes. Yes, it is. Water bottles and coolers.
I'll give some love to you said Oilers. I'll give some love to the German over here, Leon Draisaitl, leading the league in points at 81,
Okay.
with who, in my opinion, my favorite current player just overall in the NHL is Nathan McKinnon. Dude is just lightning. He's so good. Um, and he has less to work with now because they traded his longtime line mate to Carolina about a week ago.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how Colorado does going forward. But it's been a cool year. There's some names that I'm used to seeing on this list. I think the points list is pretty much reminiscent of what I'm used to. But
How
goalie
old
side,
is how
go
old is
ahead.
Connor McDavid these days?
He is
Isn't he
let's
still
see,
pretty young?
28. Yep.
Oh, wow, he's almost 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Actually, he
remember
he just turned 28. So
I remember when he came into the NHL and was the like he was being heralded as like one of the best prospects.
I mean, he is. I mean, like looking at his numbers so far in his career, he's had some injuries. Most of them were earlier on. He played 76 of 82 games last year, 82 before that, 80 before that. And when he does get a full season in, his point totals are just astronomical. Like for today's NHL, 153 points is insane. Like insane. No one does that. Like I go to McKinnon, his highest was 140, and that was last year. And he played all 82. And it's just McDavid is special.
Crazy.
McDavid is legitimately special. I can't all of the accolades and assumptions about how good he would be are true. He's a magician. And obviously Edmonton made it to the Cup final last year. They didn't win, but they forced 7 games, and McDavid played as hard as he damn could, and it was really fun to watch. Vancouver's only bright spot. I found him. Here he is, Quinn Hughes, leading the league in points for a defenseman. Yeah, what Shaq said.
And he doesn't have the refs on his side.
It's actually facts though. McDavid, this is why I love hockey. Like you could have a questionable call in hockey,
right?
But the odds that it doesn't get paid back are very low. Like usually, what'll happen is there'll be a makeup call at some point. I'm back. My face exists. So that you have a balanced power play. It's very rare that you see an entire game where one team really fucks up that much penalty-wise. It does happen, but it's usually pretty fair. I don't even know.
I still think that you should bring the fighting of the NHL to the NBA.
Oh,
so that you can just do it and move on.
Facts.
Just feel like that would just help a lot of things.
I fully agree.
And Shaq here says, hockey is incredible. Those finals last year had my house in a frenzy. In my opinion, hockey playoffs are second to football for me. The hockey playoffs are fun. I mean, I do remember watching the Flyers run to the Stanley Cup where they ended up losing to the Blackhawks. And that whole playoff run was just ridiculous. And I do not watch hockey really, pretty much at all. If I do, it's usually only when the Flyers are in the playoffs. And obviously, as Tom brought up a little bit earlier, the Flyers have not been in the playoffs very recently. So I haven't been watching as much. I do at times want to get more into it. And I will say going to live hockey games can be very fun. When I was living in Pittsburgh, I got to go to a Stanley Cup game when it was the Penguins versus versus Tampa Bay. And it was insane in there because Pittsburgh goes absolutely crazy for the Penguins. And it was just an insane atmosphere. I mean, it's still fuck the Penguins because Flyers over everything, but you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah. That is our NHL season check-in. So, of course, we have to get to the NBA side of things because the NBA trade deadline just took place. And there's obviously plenty to talk about. Right off the rip, we obviously know what happened in terms of the biggest trade. Everyone knows what the biggest trade is. Even if you don't like basketball, you know who the biggest trade was because it's all people were talking about. We'll just start with that one for the sake of things. But the fact that Luka Doncic was traded away for seemingly less than a lot of other guys have been traded for in recent seasons will never not blow my mind. And to be honest, all of the people that have said that have put the tinfoil hats on and have said that they think this is just the NBA trying to increase viewership, this trade was so ridiculous that it makes me believe that.
Yeah.
And Shaq, I agree with you here. He says Mavs organization is full of dipshits. Sorry.
Amen. Well, because I'm just looking at that. It's like the Lakers get Maxi Kleber, who I like as a role player. Markieff, who just brings you a veteran presence, which they already have the best veteran probably in the NBA, but it's like it just doesn't hurt. And then you bring in a 25-year-old Luka Doncic, who's literally just been an all-star every fucking year. It's great. I don't care if it's conditioning shit. Get him hire trainers. You're an NBA franchise. You got fucking money, bro. And it's just crazy to think it's like this never would have happened if Mark Cuban was still like really
if he was
holding
the
that shit
owner.
down.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then like to get Anthony Davis, who's currently hurt or has been hurt recently this year, Max Christie, and a singular first.
Yeah.
In 4 fucking years. Like I look at the Thunder, I'm like, what? Like the Thunder as a franchise show me how to trade and how to draft. And then the Mavericks show me how to not do shit. And it's crazy.
The Thunder trade to when they traded away Paul George.
They got Shai Gilgeous and 4 firsts.
And actually,
stuff. Well, it was more than that, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh, Christ.
It was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, 5 first-round picks, and 4 first-round pick swaps.
Bruh.
For just Paul George. Like, not Paul George and some second-round picks, not Paul George and a veteran, just Paul George.
Insanity.
Like, and this is all you could get for Luka. And not only that, but the thing that especially blows my mind is like, this is not even a full 12 months ago. Luka Doncic took your team to the fucking NBA Finals.
Yep.
And not only that, he led the finals and led the entire playoffs in almost every single stat category.
Yep. It's just it literally it's one of those like you can't do anything but laugh. And like when we first saw it, we both assumed this shit's fake. And then it wasn't, and we were like just shook.
Just insane. And like Shaq says, and then the moron had the audacity to say that they're better off for the future. Give me a break. Like, and the fact that he sat up there and was just like, well, I'm probably not going to be here that long down the road anyway. And it's like, well, A, you're definitely not going to be after that trade. B, if that's how you're thinking, then you're a terrible GM. Like, GMs always plan for the future, whether you're going to be there or not.
Yeah.
That's dumb as shit.
Like, and if your goal was to ruin the franchise's future, you succeeded.
Exactly.
Like, he's an industry plant, and he came in to just make sure Dallas never fucking succeeds again. It's just like it's literally unfathomable. I cannot believe that this actually occurred.
And you know that the fuck up is generational when the team offered actual money refunds to fans that were canceling the rest of their season tickets. Teams and owners never do that. They never give you refunds for that shit.
Ever.
And they were offering thousands of dollars worth of refunds for that because they knew that people were pissed.
Well, but even just like we touched on it before we even went live. Seeing Jason Kidd's face in that fucking first press conference, if I'm in his shoes, I actually cannot believe he didn't just like right hook that dude off that desk.
Oh yeah.
He looks so fucking pissed. That
he looked
told
like
me
he
enough.
Didn't even know what to say.
Yeah, because he didn't even know about the trade because this fucking clown was just making phone calls and not talking shit to anybody. Right. And then like hearing about I think it was Danny Ainge said he literally did not know that Luka was the point, like focal point of this trade until about 30 minutes before it officially processed.
Yeah.
Which means it's done then. Like it's just like, how the fuck did this happen?
And the fact that they didn't go to a single other team and say, "Hey, what would you give me for Luka?" Not a single other team. Like, even if it
I wish
was
they called
one
us.
other team,
I wish they
it would have
called
been better.
us.
Right.
They would have been like Embiid and fucking like Caleb Martin, and I'd have been like, fucking sign the shit, sign it, sign it. Like, and good luck in Dallas, Embiid. Get the fuck over here, chunky Luka. Come on, we're gonna work you out. You're gonna do the Rocky routine. You're gonna run down South Avenue. You're gonna be fine. Like, god damn it.
Like, just absolutely every single team would have at least offered something.
Yeah. But it's like the lack of due diligence for a literal professional sports team general manager. I just, and it's just, there's so many things to think about. It's like he did this shit so secretively because he knew it was shit. I'm sorry. There's no way he didn't understand that this was shit. I refuse. Like, can you just scroll up to that next trade right above it? Actually, because this is like, I think we can just analogize this. I like this for the Spurs in certain ways because I like that you're 100%. Victor's your guy for his career if he stays healthy. I think we could say that because the Spurs are notorious for that. And Victor is not Kawhi. He doesn't have an ego, so it's crazy because you relate it to this trade, right? So the Spurs being one team, getting Jordan McLaughlin and De'Aaron Fox, that clearly helps them from a we're building for the future perspective because we like some of the pieces we already have. And then you look at the Kings, and the Kings are like, okay, now we have a lot of ammo to either trade for a different young player or draft stars of the future because they've already moved on from Fox and Halliburton in recent years.
Yep.
You can bring in Levine. You still have Sabonis, and Malik Monk. So you're like, okay, we have some pieces we can work with here to build something. And then the Bulls, you finally move on from Levine because that clearly was not working. You get a first, you get some players. They're still rebuilding. We knew that anyway. This is what a balanced trade should look like, though. Like, the Spurs are going out and getting a star, and they're sending the house to other teams. And it's balanced because each team is actually getting some return here. And the Kings getting the biggest of which, because obviously it just adds up. So I look at this trade and I'm just like, these GMs called each other 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
100, because they're like, we're going to make this shit work. And they're franchises that aren't rivals, really.
Right.
So they can actually just take the time to make it more balanced because they're not, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, the Spurs might encounter the Kings in the playoffs, not this fucking year, but but you look at Dallas and LA, it's like, bro, they're gonna see each other in the playoffs a lot of times. Like that's been the trend of my lifetime. So it's like, how does Dallas allow the Lakers to take this step?
But also the fact that the one draft pick you got is in 4 years from now.
Yeah.
When Luka's only gonna be 29, he's gonna be right in the middle of his peak.
Yep.
So that first round pick is probably still going to be ass.
Yeah. And Shaq, I agree with you. I've always liked De'Aaron Fox. I think he's been having a very, very quietly good year this year on a team that just was not deep enough in Sacramento. And this I think it just gives him a chance to build chemistry with a future, like, potentially best, like, MVP. I mean, literally.
I agree. I've always loved De'Aaron Fox as well. And to me, the Kings are the epitome of shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Like, you got yourselves Fox, you traded Halliburton to go get Sabonis, which ended up being like, yeah, Halliburton's still a very, very good point guard, but Sabonis is a very, very good big man. And
Sabonis is one of my favorite players in the entire NBA.
Oh yeah, he's
I
like Jokic. He's like a diet Jokic.
I love his game though, because he just plays with energy, which is I like. That's what I like.
Right.
He plays with passion. Like like there's never a Sabonis game where I look and I'm just like he doesn't give a shit. Like he's always trying. Some games he sucks, but at least he's he's trying to put in the effort.
Right. And my thing was just like, so you have two very good pieces, but then they just failed to put anything else around them that would be respectable enough to be a contending team. Like Monk was good, yes, but his sixth man role is definitely the role for him. So the fact that you had to start like throwing him into the starting lineup means the bench was god awful. And then every backup big man they brought in just failed miserably. They had the whole Marvin Bagley the third situation, which obviously failed miserably.
Oh yeah.
And so it's just like, and like Keegan Murray was a great pick, but then all of a sudden you bring in DeMar DeRozan, who plays like the same position, and now Keegan Murray's not even getting the chance to shoot the ball when he just had a great shooting season last year, and you're just relegating him to a defensive role and like maybe you get the ball a couple times. It's like you got to pick a strategy and go for it and stop sitting in the middle.
But literally the NBA is about balance. It just always is. Like you have your starting five, and then you probably have four guys coming off the bench. At least in the playoffs, usually it's like a 9-man rotation for a lot of the teams that go pretty deep. If you're the Kings, it's like, bro, you're not a young franchise, really. Like the Kings as a franchise have been around for fucking forever. Like there's a recipe here that you guys keep watching in your conference, and you need to just copy paste it. And maybe you'll miss on some picks, but you got to just like, you have to do what you got to do. Levine is not the answer. He's just another guard that's going to come in and want the ball. And you already have that. Like you have that in droves right now. Like this,
but it's also like now you don't have a point guard.
Yeah, which is why they're starting Malik Monk at point guard, which is just like not it. And we know it's not it. So
and you had two of the best point guards in the league in Halliburton and Fox at one point.
Yeah. Well, Halliburton has regressed at least a little bit in my eyes this year.
This year has not been great for him at all.
So it is starting to like, at least if you just took it at face value at this moment, the Sabonis return is definitely a W for Sacramento. But going forward, it is going to be very like they have all these picks now.
Right.
And you can't fucking waste them. And I know one of them's 6 years away, but one of them's coming up. One of them's next year. Top 14 protected. That's probably going to not end up being theirs, actually.
I think it turns into a second round pick if it's not theirs, which like, sure, you still get a second, but Charlotte is a whole lot of ass. So
and they just traded like half of their good players.
Yeah.
Traded
and
Mark
LaMelo
Williams.
Ball's always hurt.
They traded how do you say his name? Is it Mijic?
Oh, Mijic.
Mijic, okay.
Yeah.
He's been I like him. He's hilarious.
He's been solid. And they just traded they just traded their starting center. Mark Williams is going to the Lakers.
Yeah, well that was the one that was like one of the last trades of the day if I recall, but it's just go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, the Bulls, I wish for their sake they got a little bit more for Levine. Zach Collins is nothing more than a backup big. Trey Jones like has the chance to be like a rotational player. Like he had some solid moments in San Antonio. Kevin Huerter, like, yeah, he's like a 3-and-D type of shooting guard guy, but like his defense is like average at best. And so like he's just a rotational player. So you kind of got three guys who's like more end of the rotation. And then it's the first round pick they got is technically their own pick. It just removes the protection on it, which was only, if I remember correctly, it was only top 5 protected. And San Antonio is not getting a top 5 pick this year.
No.
So they were going to get their own pick anyway. It's just now, if say the Bulls, are super ass, they can like possibly get the number 1 pick, but they aren't even they're technically in a play-in spot right now. So
Yeah.
they aren't even going to get the highest of chances to get that number 1 pick.
I
So
think that's more of a product of the East being pretty bad. Like
the East is very much like the top of the NBA and then literally the bottom of the NBA and
yeah,
nothing in between.
yeah. Agreed with that.
Yeah. And then
Obviously
you got like
the Sixers got involved with some
yes.
random shit. But they did it. KJ Martin's out of here. Caleb Martin's out of here. All the Martins. No Martins allowed in Philadelphia.
Apparently. So the Caleb Martin trade, I don't mind. Granted, I was a fan of Caleb Martin, especially like the type of role he played for Miami, especially in their playoff runs. And when we got him, I thought that was a really good signing as a role player if everyone's health ended up being okay
But no
and
one's
he could
health has been
actually
okay.
play the role he needs to.
Yeah. It's been
But
tough as a Sixers fan out here.
yeah, for sure. But I like Quentin Grimes. He's on the last year of his, I think it's his rookie scale contract still. But so if we want to keep him, I mean, they'd have
Who
to
got
sign him.
a Springer? I didn't even know he got traded. I just see it at
Oh
the
yeah,
top peeking out there.
yeah. He went to
Oh, the
Houston.
Rockets. Okay.
Yep. The KJ Martin trade is the thing that confuses me because the whole point of Daryl Morey signing him to what everyone is calling a balloon contract was to be able to use that money to trade away at the trade deadline to either get somebody for it or to get him, like maybe you get like a pick back or whatever and to clear up some space. But his contract after this year is not guaranteed. So if you just wanted to get his money off the books, you could just waive him because the rest of his contract is not guaranteed. So instead, they trade away 2 second-round picks with him just to clear up space. So
Yeah.
that one I'm really don't understand, especially like they're going to want to play the buyout market, but like as of right now, I don't see many people in the buyout market that are really even worth it. The only person I can really think of is like, I think Washington was talking to, because that was another trade. Washington got Chris Middleton
For
in
Kuzma.
this deal that sent Kuzma to Milwaukee. And they were
and
talking
DeLone
to
Wright on his 15th team.
Yeah, seriously.
God damn it.
He's been everywhere. And so they're talking to him about buying him out. There was one other. Oh, Ben Simmons is talking to the Nets about getting bought out. And I think there was like 1 or 2 other people. And I'm like, yeah, but none of those people fit on this roster. Maybe Chris Middleton, but Middleton's hurt every other fucking game.
Or the whole season.
Right.
It's so unfortunate too, because I like him as a player, but it's just like this trade to me, it got a lot of criticism, but I looked at it like I think the Bucks clearly won that.
I think they did too, just in terms of like they got guys who can get on the floor and help.
Yeah. And in my opinion, I'm looking at Kuzma like, okay, you just escaped a really horrendous situation in Washington. And credit to the Bucks for kind of bouncing back from that horrendous start. It's like they're playing better now. So you're playing for a team that at least is probably going to make the playoffs and have some games. It's like you'll play more motivated now. I'm not going to say like he's going to turn into anything amazing, but it's like he'll obviously play harder now that the games like matter. But I feel bad for Middleton because it's just like, holy shit, he gets sent to Siberia. That's tough.
Exactly. Shaq says Kuzma's the Fitzpatrick of the NBA.
That's fair, but this could be the Fitz magic year. Watch out.
True, it could be. Yeah, I mean, for the Wizards' sake, like AJ Johnson is like he's a decent younger guy that they can at least like try and see if they get anything out of him. The first round pick swap is that I don't fully understand because Milwaukee's definitely going to be the better team in 3 years still. Like, it's not like Giannis has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's not like Lillard has fallen off a cliff. So the Wizards are going to have the better pick as it is. I mean, I guess, sure, you may hedge your bet, but, like, I don't see that really conveying into much. And for the Knicks, trading away Jericho Sims is interesting to me because Mitchell Robinson has gotten hurt time and time again over the past 3 seasons. He's
And
on his
you
way
already got
back.
rid of Hartenstein, so
Exactly. Already gotten rid of Hartenstein as well. But, like, now you grab DeLone Wright, who, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think you needed much of a backup, like, 8th, 9th spot guard. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I just don't really understand that whole thing unless it's legitimately just to get him off the books. But that takes me to a couple of the more interesting trades here. So before I get to Jimmy Butler, I mean, the Lakers getting Mark Williams just made sense. The Lakers have needed a defensive lob threat center forever. They really needed him with so that they could move AD to the 4, but they decided to go get him now. And they pair up Mark Williams with Luka Doncic, and Mark Williams is only 23. So again, going a little bit younger, very good player. A little bit of injury issues with him so far in his first couple seasons, but he's young enough that you can kind of see how it goes. Dalton Connect, I think, is a great get for Charlotte because Dalton Connect showed some really good promise in some of those early on games for the Lakers. So, like, I like that a lot. Cam Reddish, man, I just wish Cam Reddish worked out, especially being from Norristown. Like, it just would have been cool to have Cam Reddish, like, go off in the NBA and have somebody so local that like did so well in the NBA, like Rip Hamilton, but he just hasn't really been anything yet. And they get a couple
agreed.
picks. Like, I don't mind the move from Charlotte. This one was another head scratcher to me, though. I don't understand why Toronto wanted Brandon Ingram because Ingram is, I think he's 26. No, 27 now. He just turned 27 in September. And the rest of the Raptors core is all like 24, 25-ish. He's hurt all the time. And like, it just doesn't, the timeline doesn't make sense to me. He's decent, but like, if you're making this type of move, you're kind of saying like, hey, we're ready to compete next year. And I don't think Toronto's ready to compete next year. You still have some supporting cast moves that you definitely need to make. And I mean, like, even Emmanuel quickly has been hurt almost this whole season, and he was one of the like big core guys that they traded for last year. RJ Barrett's gotten a little bit better. Scotty Barnes, we know he's going to be very good. I like Jakob Pertl in as the center. Like, I like the potential starting 5, but outside of that, it's like you don't got much. Like, Bruce Brown would have been a nice role player if you had Brandon Ingram also, but trading away all of that and a first round pick, I mean, I just don't really get the Raptors' direction there. I mean, I've always liked Ingram, but again, he's hurt all the time, which is why the whole thing with the Pelicans didn't work out because him and Zion were always hurt. So, but then it gets to the whole Butler 14 trade. This whole thing set off another domino effect because the contracts just didn't work for like anybody and they had to keep trading more and more people. KJ Martin is now in Utah because he had to be part of this trade.
Yeah.
And Dennis Schroeder was like traded to Utah and then traded to Detroit, and I think he even got traded somewhere else. And this is all after he said that the NBA trade deadline is like modern day slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is like, the fact that he said that and he was shipped to like 3 different teams in
Yeah.
the span of like 3 hours.
Well, he started the season as a net and ended up a Warrior, and then you have this, and you're like, homie has quite literally in one season been on like 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah. Just insane. But my thing here is for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler is obviously the best player in this trade. Like, that's not any doubt in my mind. However, the best thing that the Warriors had going on was like the depth, but also the different rotations that they could throw in there. And I just don't see it fully working with Butler, Kuminga, Draymond, and like outside of that, like you still Brandon Podjemski has to like flourish into what they want, especially it only being his second year in the NBA. Steph Curry, I'm not worried about, but like I just don't. The team has to mesh quick, and I just don't see them beating some of the top teams in the West. I don't see them beating Oklahoma City for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know. I felt like it was a very desperate move from Golden State because, yeah, like Steph's getting old, Draymond's getting old. I get that. So you kind of had to make some sort of move. But if I was them, I mean, and for all I know, maybe they did go searching for a lot of other different deals, but like the whole Jimmy Butler deal, I just don't feel like was the best move for them. Miami at least gets a protected first round pick out of that. They get Wiggins, which is not a bad return at all. PJ Tucker was there for about 5 minutes and then he got flipped for something else. Kyle Anderson, there was a whole thing about his contract that I think they were working on or something along those lines. So I don't even know if he ended up going to Miami in the end. Detroit getting Lindy Waters, though, I really liked. I just realized this says, wait. Yeah, this has Josh Richardson listed twice in here. That's definitely not right. I thought maybe it was 2 different Josh Richardsons, but no, it's just the same one. Like the return for Utah it is what it is. KJ Martin's nice, like a younger forward that they can throw in there and a second round pick. Josh Richardson to me is just like he's going to get bought out no matter where he goes, and then he's not a guy that really anybody like has a big need for. The Sixers trading Reggie Jackson and a first round pick, which essentially was going to be absolutely nothing. Because it's the least favorable of Oklahoma City, Houston 5 through 30, and the Clippers. So
here's the update. So there's 5 teams in this trade, not 4.
Oh, okay.
The 5th team is Toronto. So Toronto,
that's right.
Yep, Toronto ended up with PJ Tucker, a second rounder, and cash. Utah on that screen is correct. That is what they ended up with. Detroit ended up with Schroeder, Waters, and a second.
Gotcha.
Miami ended up with Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell, and that protected pick. And that's what it would actually be.
So I like that for Miami, getting Davion, Wiggins, Anderson, and the protected pick. I like that for them, especially like you were in a situation that was kind of lose-lose where Jimmy's forcing himself out, you're suspending him. I mean, you never usually get the true value when that kind of thing happens. So I like that return. This first round pick that the Sixers traded away with Reggie Jackson, it was going to be really low in the first round anyway. So it is what it is. They get 4 second round picks out of that. And Jared Butler. And I like Jared Butler. He was a Baylor guy, played in the national championship not that long ago, dropped like I think he dropped like either 30 or close to 30 points against the Sixers like last week, 2 weeks ago. So I don't mind that at all. He is in a 2-way contract too, so it's not even like a full NBA deal. So that's even more room that you free up. Oh, here it is. They split it off into a second deal. So yeah, Davion Mitchell to the Heat, PJ Tucker, second round cash to Toronto. Phoenix gets rid of Yusuf Nurkic. He honestly, I like Nurkic to me is just an asshole, to be honest. There's a lot of things that it seems like he outstays his welcome, and then he starts complaining, and then people just want to move on from him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte buys him out. It's not like he's young anymore, and he's injury prone. So
they got a first round pick, so they're probably happy.
Exactly. Our good old minivan, George Niang, is on his way to Atlanta, along with Karis LeVert, 3 second-round picks and 2 future pick swaps for DeAndre Hunter. For Atlanta, I don't really understand it as much. Karis LeVert's older, George Niang's older than DeAndre Hunter. The second-round picks, cool. The pick swaps, I'm pretty sure were second-round pick swaps. So again, cool. It's not really like anything to write home about. So, I mean, Karis LeVert, you could probably say is a little bit better of a scorer. But if we're talking about like straight up catch and shoot threes, compared to DeAndre Hunter, they're probably, without looking at their stats, probably like around the same-ish. George Niang is probably up there too. So, I don't know. That one I just doesn't move me at all, really. And then Houston got Cody Zeller. Still don't know what the Hawks are even getting for that. The Hawks getting Terrence Mann and Bones Highland for Bogdan Bogdanovic was a better move to me, because Bogdanovic, while I like his skill set and he's a good rotational player, I think getting Terrence Mann and Bones Highland gives them a lot more depth that they desperately needed. So
Is that them not flipping the same 3 second-round picks like right away?
It honestly might be.
Yeah.
I think so. Shaq says, Niang, I love that bread roll. Yeah,
That's fair.
Niang loved being in Philly, and you could tell. Speaking of the devil, Marvin Bagley III is on his way to Memphis.
Oh my God.
And it was even in a trade with Sacramento, but he wasn't being traded from Sacramento, which makes it even funnier. But another thing for the Wizards, like they definitely just did this for the first round pick, because Marcus Smart's 30 now. He's either 30 or 31. 30. And I don't even remember the last time he's played this season. Oh, he played yesterday, which was his first game back since December 21st. So, yeah, he's barely played. He seems to be running into every injury under the sun. I mean, he might be a buyout candidate. I don't know his contract status. But that could be somebody that you go for. It would be kind of funny for the Sixers to get Marcus Smart after all the battles they had with Marcus Smart when he was on Boston.
I feel like he'd be like, no, thank you.
I could see him saying that, to be honest. Sacramento getting Jake LaRavia. I like that, though. I like Jake LaRavia. He's had some pretty big moments when he finally got the minutes for Memphis. I don't see Memphis really playing Johnny Davis or Marvin Bagley III or keeping them. I think this was just to get like Marcus Smart and some people off the books. Milwaukee getting Kevin Porter Jr. for just Marjon Beauchamp is pretty great for them. Beauchamp wasn't even in the fucking rotation, and Kevin Porter Jr. was getting a solid like 15 to 20 minutes a night. And even though KPJ is an asshole with the whole beating his girlfriend thing, he is a better basketball player than Marjon Beauchamp. So
yep,
they do get the better end of that deal. And then the good old trade where you just trade somebody away because you don't want him. was how you get a future draft pick, which is top 55 protected. And yeah, James Wiseman tore his Achilles this year, so
I feel so bad for that man.
Yeah, it sucks. Really does suck. The Pacers had 2 big men tear their Achilles, Wiseman and Isaiah Jackson, I think it was. So not great for them. But yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of the NBA trade deadline. It was insane. And yeah.
Just surprising. Usually, like, I feel like each year you don't get so many surprising moves, but this year just had a few.
Right.
And it was like, I mean, you had the biggest one in my lifetime. So it was like, okay, cool.
Exactly. And there's always, I feel like before every NBA trade deadline, it's like you get the little rumors and stuff, and you're like, oh, this trade deadline's going to be fucking insane. Like, this guy might get traded, this guy might get traded, and then nothing really happens. It's like, oh boy, PJ Tucker got traded to his 12th team. And then this one is like Luka Doncic, and it's like, what?
Well, like, fucking chips, bro. I was gonna say, like, there were so many rumors about Durant that I was waiting for something to happen there, and Beal. I was waiting for something to maybe happen there, and I guess it just didn't develop. And it's like, why not?
Exactly.
Genuinely, why not? Especially for like a team like the Warriors. It's like you clearly were really involved in some like mega trades as far as team involvement. So it's like you probably could have worked something out, but we'll see.
So I actually saw the rumor was the Wizards wanted to bring Kevin Durant back home because he's from the DC area. And so they originally tried offering Kyle Kuzma with like some other package of things. And Phoenix was like, yeah, no, we're good. So that's how Kuzma to Milwaukee happened. And then the funniest thing ever is the fucking Wizards signing Bradley Beal to a contract that has a no trade clause in it. So he told Phoenix he'll only accept the trade and waive the no trade clause if he gets traded to a warm weather team. And apparently they asked all the warm weather teams and nobody wanted him.
Why would you want him now, though? He's just been awful.
Exactly.
In my opinion. Like, it's just, yeah.
Beal has never been worth the contract he received. Like,
Fuck
even at his peak, he was not worth the contract he received. So,
well, it's like when you're the only player that's even decent on a team like Washington, your stats are going to be inflated.
Exactly.
And it just became so clear the moment he got out of there that that's exactly what was happening. And that's why it's like these dudes trying to drive these kind of negotiations. It's like, brother, you don't have a leg to stand on here because you haven't performed at any kind of level where these teams are going to be seeking you for capital. It just doesn't make sense. And then, like, I remember what was his name? Alan Crabb. That was a year where the NBA broke my brain when the Nets signed him to that like 5-year 80 or 3-year 80, and I was just like, what? And
that was when they signed that brand new TV deal, so all the contracts were just insane.
And I was just like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, bro, it's Alan fucking Crabb. I'm like, I like the Blazers, and that dude sucks. Like, what are we doing? I was like, I was looking over there. I was looking at the Blazers, like, W Blazers for not signing that fucking contract to that guy. Because that was obviously still when they had their core before they just dismantled it. It's just like, but it's been like that ever since. You see the free agency go on, and you see these numbers, and you're like, bro, that guy's not worth like 10 mil, and he's getting 35 a year.
Yep. It's insane. It's ridiculous. So before we get to the Immaculate Grid, we'll bring up our favorite social videos of the week because I have a few queued up here again.
Okay.
I've been bookmarking ones to make sure that I have them. And this is the first one we'll do.
Down!
God, that's loud.
Offsides! Defense! Down! fucking say anything. But I knew you were running that same bullshit play. I knew it. I was.
And then this guy has great ones. He has another one here that I thought was good.
Oh my god, that's
Derrick
already
Rose.
accurate.
Bro, what? This some bullshit.
Sounds fair to me.
Ah, he ain't even touch him.
After further review, the guy on the couch was right. He wasn't touched.
Thank you.
But we don't get no fuck.
What the hell? Are you seeing this?
Sounds fair to me.
What? They were trying to hide this shit.
Now shut your snitching ass up.
Me?
Yeah, you. Before I come through this screen and jump in your ass.
He's not one of us.
Who are you calling?
God damn it.
That's him.
Huh? What are you doing? What you just?
Offside, Bills. This results in 2 automatic scores for the Chiefs and the end of the game, resulting in a Chiefs win. Now enjoy this view of Taylor Swift.
Sounds fair to me.
God, Jesus fucking Christ. Sounds fair to me.
And then I have 2 more. So there's
Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts were both born, grew up in life, went to college, became pro athletes,
I know where
and
this is
still
going.
made the NFC Championship game before the Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Born, grew up in life, went to college, drafted, became pro athletes, and made the NFC Championship game
Oh my God.
before the Cowboys.
And Hurts was in the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness gracious. That's great.
had to bring that one up.
Every time, bro. Any chance
and
to
then-
roast the Cowboys, we're in.
Oh yeah. And then Shaq here says, accurate. I'm waiting for a Saquon 80-yarder to get called back because Mahomet didn't like it.
Yeah. Dude, I saw a clip. I wish I saved it. It literally was I think the head ref from the Bills Chiefs championship game
Mhm.
from like a different clip, and they just dubbed over welcome to the Mahomo Bowl 59. And I literally paused it right there because it was going to be long, but I'm like, yeah, I don't even need to, I know where this is going. I'm good.
And then there's this.
All right, Jimmy, now that you're on our team, we got to set some ground rules. If you get out of line here, you get punched in the face. And if you get out of line, I'll smash your girlfriend like I did Kat's. And I'll beat you with the practice squad like I did Kat. You got some balls, Jimmy Butler. I like balls. So which Jimmy are we getting? Are we getting good teammate and competitor Jimmy? Or are we getting crybaby wussy emo Jimmy? You're getting Jimmy the Butler.
Oh my fucking
Your middle
God.
name is Zuh? What kind of name is that? No, Jimmy the Butler, because I serve L's. Great. I guess we got crazy Jimmy.
Damn it, Jimmy Butler.
Oh, and then I did forget there was actually this one too, just because it was
Okay.
nice karma.
A top 10 quarterback?
No.
Jalen
I don't
Hurts
have
isn't a top 10
Jalen
quarterback.
Hurts as a top 10
You know
quarterback.
he was hurt last year.
Yeah, that's great. That's all good. All well and good. I don't have Jalen Hurts as a top 10 quarterback.
Okay, give
Right,
me
right
give
now,
me
here's
who
my
you have ahead of him.
my list, Molly. I got Patrick Mahomes, which understood and got
Okay,
his chance.
fair.
Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert,
Wait. So, okay, yeah, see
Trevor
Justin
yeah.
Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love,
I
and
just
Brock
died.
Purdy. Of
Right
the list of
now.
quarterbacks I just gave you, there's
I died
only
so
one
hard.
quarterback on that top 10 list that has lower odds to win MVP in 2024, and that guy is Trevor Lawrence. That's it. Everybody else has better.
The criticism that we've all had about the Eagles ain't about the players on the field. It's been about the coach. I had Jalen Hurts as a top 10 quarterback coming
Oh my
into the
God.
season. I'm
Nope,
just now
taking the
looking back at my
headphones off.
notes.
And my
I
camera's
had
being
him
outside the top 10
I'm just gonna look
at
at my
one
bird.
point.
No, I had him as a top 10 quarterback coming into the season. I'm sitting here looking at my notes.
Yeah, there's clips
God damn
online from First Take and this show of you saying I don't have Jalen Hurts in the top 10.
Who is this man?
Okay, all right. I'm just telling you the
I don't
list
even
that
know.
A top
But the fact that the producer was like, "No, you said he was not in your top 10."
Yeah, and then you listed 10 people that were not him. You
And
muppet.
Trevor Lawrence?
Brother, did you not? Okay, so when my camera died, it
Uh-huh.
died because I slunk so far down in my chair that I think I unplugged it with my foot. Brother, he said Trevor Lawrence, and I was just like, ain't no motherfucking way. This guy is given TV time.
Like,
Give me his money.
what?
Give me his fucking money now. What are we doing?
The moment he said I mean, there was a few guys in there that obviously I was like, all right, you're wrong. But the moment he said Trevor Lawrence, I was like, no, you don't even watch football.
I don't have CJ Stroud above Jalen Hurts. Not a
I don't
chance. Not a chance. It's the versatility of Jalen's game. Like you can disrespect the dude as much as you want over and over again, acting like he has no arm, and then he hits AJ deep fucking all the time. What he can do with his legs is something that you literally cannot undervalue and underappreciate.
Oh, yeah.
That's what pisses me off. It's just like, why are we ignoring the fact that this man can break off these crazy runs at any given moment and act like that is not also a contribution on offense? Like they pretend that a QB running is not good necessarily. It's like, but Lamar does it.
Right.
So special, and it's praised almost, whereas Jalen's like vilified for it. And I don't get that.
The only quarterbacks that have an argument to be over Jalen Hurts are Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, and Burrow. That's it.
The only other guy I would actually like consider as a maybe is Herbert. Because I just think Herbert doesn't have an offense. You know what I mean? Like I think genuinely, like if you were to give Herbert every weapon that Hurts has right now with this O-line, you and I both know damn well he's gonna put up just insane numbers. We know it.
True.
True. And he has a willingness to win. Obviously, his playoff performance this year was pretty tough, but he's the only other guy that I like enough as a football player that I'm like, yeah, he could probably be considered better. But it is just like and Hurts does seem to step up when it really matters. That's the other big thing too. It's like, what do you do in big games that have meaning? And you can't look past that because there's some guys who just fold. Aaron Rodgers. So sorry, I had to get it in. But it is. But yeah, that last one just like broke my brain. I'm like, brother, there's no way you think all these people are better than Jalen Hurts. There's just no way.
This is why people don't watch the TV sports analyst shows as often as they used to because of people like that.
Like, are there some good ones where they actually genuinely try to speak using facts and data? Yes. Are there way too many of them that speak for clickbait? Yes. Like when you watch, what is it? For whichever one Nick writes on, I watch that one and I swear to God, I lose brain cells.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ. And then you see like their end of year records on picks and you're like, brother, you don't know shit.
Exactly.
You're below 500. How? It is not that hard. Like, and you and I can both say that because we had better records than like every fucking supposed expert on any channel this year, man.
We were like 40 games above 500.
Yeah, we just looked at it using logic based on how the teams had been performing in the matchups because that's literally all you have to do.
Exactly.
They look at it from like storylines. And that's what that's what frustrates me. It's like sports is not storylines. It's head to head.
Right.
And it just annoys, but that's humanity at this point. They want the like polarizing shit. I'm like, I don't want that. I like numbers. Yeah. And I like data and I like watching it actually unfold because that's what the game actually is. And yeah, this year in particular has been like the worst for football media that I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's been the worst for sports media all around.
Yeah. Hockey's the only one that's really been on point, to be fair. Okay. Like the way they're talking about the game.
I don't have room on that one.
The way they've been talking about the game, the way hockey media really does talk about the game is more focused.
Right.
They're like, and to be credit to hockey on this, like when there's like a media guy that's kind of getting a little out of pocket, out of hand, he kind of gets pushed out a little bit because the game has had a like respect level within it like that for so long. And it is a game where grievances do get solved by literal punching. So
true.
Like it's they're built different. They're built different top to bottom.
And Shaq here says Hurts just wins, man. For some reason, the media hates it. Yeah, I mean,
he got benched for Tua at Alabama. He must suck. It's like it was different then, man. And then he went to Oklahoma, and you know what he did? He won. Like, I don't know what to say. He gets taken with a second round pick by a franchise that really no one expected, and here we are. So
exactly. At some point, you have to just admit the guy is good if he continues to get there at time and time again.
Exactly. So we gotta. I went back one day because I saw Ravens, so I was like, all right, let's do it.
Ooh.
And actually, I also was like, oh, and the Browns are right next to him. Look, it's Tucker and Deshaun. Oh, bummer. but I had to do it.
Ravens, Browns, massage parlor.
Yeah, hold on. Let me cook.
Oh god.
I'll let you keep thinking. I'm gonna see if I can find fucking something here.
Ravens and Seahawks. Oh, Alex.
Oh, is it the lineman?
No, the running back.
Oh, Alex Collins.
I think
Alex Collins is that his name? I think it's.
Let me check.
Hold up. Yep, that's him. Because
yep, that's what I was thinking of.
Doink.
All right, 7's not bad.
Oh no.
But
hold on.
Oh
shit. Okay. This might be the same fucking channel that made that Jimmy Butler thing.
Oh.
Pleasures. It's bullcrap they banned us, so we exposed ourselves to the masseuses. Big deal. Don't they know boys will be boys? Wait a sec. I know how we can get in, Justin. Hi, I'm Jashawn, and I'm Dustin. We'd both like massages, please. No problem. I get you in right now. Yes. Wait a sec. You Justin Tucker and Deshaun Watson. You both banned from here for exposing your ding-dongs and spunking on tables. You leave now. As Robert Katz gets to stay. He paid good money. Let us...
Oh my god.
Fuck. All right, Shaq. Have a good night, brother.
Yeah, have a good one, Shaq. We appreciate you tuning in. And yes, go Birds for sure. Hopefully they bring it home. And hopefully everything traveling wise goes well, man. Appreciate it.
And hopefully you don't find disguised Justin
Tucker
or Jashawn with their fake noses.
Oh god.
Watch out. Don't get any massages. You're in danger. All right.
Let's see.
What a disaster.
Thank you. He said, yeah, man, I'll be on the lookout. Good. Gotta be on the lookout always.
Vincent Jackson for the Bucks.
Oh, he's got to.
Because hold on. Let me make sure it's not like okay, yeah. That's probably pretty high. Who else could they have?
I mean, there's obviously Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
And
ooh,
hold on. There's zero chance the guy I just thought of did this, but I'm looking because I would be blown away and it would be the lowest percentage. Okay. We're safe. I thought my brain was about to bleed. Ooh. I'm trying to think of dudes who weren't like. Ooh, a sneaky one could be Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, that's true.
Because I just feel like he's not remembered as much as that.
Ooh.
I'm gonna do it. Ooh.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ravens Tampa Bay is also Deshaun Jackson.
Yikes, I like that one better. Okay. Now with the
18%. Really?
18. I guess because it's like probably semi-recent.
I'm actually surprised people remember that because I think he played like
a game. Oh man. Because I just don't want to pick the highest. Because I know Vincent Jackson's going to be pretty high. Keyshawn's probably pretty high.
True. For some reason, I completely forgot about Keyshawn.
So my brain is just trying to think of like randos who had a stop in Tampa. And then were other places. Let me see something here.
I got one for the Giants and 5,000 yards.
Okay.
Golden Tate.
Oh. I like that and I hate that because that's gross that your brain pulled that. Oh my lord.
I was like, he definitely played for the Giants. I just don't remember how long.
God, Seahawks receivers is a nightmare. Because that could have also been Golden Tate, I'm like Percy Harvin.
Did Percy Harvin get 5,000?
I would fucking hope so, because he was with the Vikings for a minute. Before that, wasn't he? Hold on.
I thought so.
He did not. Wow.
What did he get to?
4,026.
Oh, wow.
His career after Minnesota was just not good. Like he almost had a 1,000-yard season in 2011. He was only 33 yards short of that. So it seemed like he was going to have a career that would have definitely seen him hit it, but
right.
Nope. Tough.
Oh, I got a Seattle one that I don't know how my brain got here.
All right.
Brandon Stokely.
Okay, that's goated. That's fucking goated. Well, that dude had quite the adventure in the NFL. 0.06. Holy. Yes, sir. And he's pictured as a Raven, it looks like.
I think so.
That looks like a Raven's 8 on his shoulder.
That's amazing.
God, look how old he looks in that photo.
I know.
Why does he look like
and he was on the
literally...
Ravens in the beginning of his career?
That's crazy. Did he end up at... Hold on.
He won a Super Bowl with the Ravens.
Yeah, but I'm like, I got to see this man's career path to understand why he looked... Oh, he retired a Raven. Okay. 2013, he was a Raven.
Oh, I didn't even remember that.
Yep. He had played 6 games, had 13 catches for $115.
Okay.
But he was obviously just probably there as like a last minute, we need a receiver to line up on the field kind of deal. Because that would have been Steve Smith and maybe his first year there. Or maybe that's 2013 is too early for that.
I think 2013 was a little too early.
Let me see.
2013 was Torrey Smith still.
Marlon Brown, Jacoby Jones, Tandon Doss.
That was right before the Anquan Bolden trade. Oh, wait, no. 2013? That was after the Anquan Bolden.
Yeah.
Because they won in 2012, yeah.
Yep. Okay. What a wild roster. Dallas Clark at tight end. Vontae Leach at running back. Behind Ray Rice, obviously. Absolute beast. Vontae Leach, yeah. What a, like, oh my God. You like, it's a name you just literally forget about completely because it's like numbers wise in the NFL, it's not like he did anything crazy.
Right.
But when he did get the ball, unit. All right.
Oh, yeah.
This Bucks 5,000 is killing me because my head is literally all over the place. There's actually some names I need to look up. And I know that's like kind of cheating, but I don't give a singular fuck. So,
hey,
God,
I'm
fucking damn it. Can any of these dudes that I'm hitting not be right at 4K? I pulled my brain pulled Joe Jaravicious, and I was like, please.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Fuck. Famous for absolutely torching the ever living shit out of the Eagles in the NFC Championship game in 2002. Torched.
Oh Lord.
From Brad Johnson. Insane.
Oh, what about? Hold on, I'll just look him up just to see if it does. Keenan McCardle.
Okay.
He does have 11,000 career yards. I actually didn't realize he had that many.
That's a lot of fucking yards.
Yeah.
Bang, 3% W.
How does he not have a picture?
11,000 yards career is like really good.
Yeah.
Like really good.
He had 5 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, that's like
4 of them with Jacksonville.
Miles above the average. Oh, was he there with Fred? Was he there with Fred Jackson?
Let's
Would
see.
he been there? Would he have been there at the same time as him? Because that would have been a hell of an offense, actually. Or Fred Taylor. My brain said the wrong last name. That's generic white man last name, even though they're
When
all
was
black.
Fred Taylor drafted?
I'm looking. 98.
Yeah, so he was there.
Yeah. Okay. Wasn't the
Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardle, Fred
I was
Taylor.
gonna say the 98 Jags were actually good.
Yeah, Mark Brunell was the quarterback.
Tom Coughlin is head coach. That's a good team.
Yeah. Actually, the funny thing is Tampa Bay Cleveland is also Keenan McCardle.
Yeah, because you had Jimmy Smith had 78 catches for 12 hundo. Mark Brunell at QB. Leon Searcy at tackle. That was a name. I remember that. I recognize that name. And you had to be a decent tackle for me to remember your name from back then. He just had injury problems. That's crazy. All right. Browns, Bucks. I know there's probably a million. The obvious is Baker, but
yeah.
That's the number one for sure. God, I feel like there's got to be like 80 running backs or receivers. Like
there
80.
Has to be.
Because those teams were both just like in the sewers for so long. I know there's a tight end, and I can't picture his goddamn face, and it's pissing me off.
I'm also still thinking of Ravens Giants because there's a few people that I definitely have thought of, but I just can't think of their name.
Oh. Wait, hold on. I need a minute to try and figure out this man's name. One second. Oh, what fucking team was this? What team would I even look up to figure out this dude's name? Hold on. Oh, let me cook. It came to me.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second. I need to see his freaking Pro Football Reference because I know this dude was on a few teams, but.
Oh, I got Browns Bucks.
All right, who do you got?
Josh Johnson, the quarterback.
He's probably been on both 4 times. Let's do it. Actually, shout out Josh Johnson. He could probably be everywhere on this fucking board, literally.
Probably.
It's definitely he was currently the backup for 0.8.
Wow.
Damn.
I didn't think he'd be that low, to be honest.
I didn't either. Guy's been in the league forever. He's like the freaking skeleton key for these kind of games because he's been on 16 teams, which is the NFL record. Browns Seahawks.
Oh, didn't what's his name?
One of the I think there's a running back. I'm actually almost positive. Hold on. Let me see if this one of the older running backs just came to my head, and I'm actually curious now. I don't know if he ever made it to there. Oh, he did. Okay. I have one I'm locking in that's going to be the lowest, one of the lowest percentages, period. I'm pretty sure. Robert Turbin.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Point fucking 3W.
Browns Giants, Peyton Hillis.
Yes, we've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Because we fully did not actually comprehend. Look at that haircut, bro. What do you mean? Dude looks like a disc. We have WWE wrestling at home. WWE wrestling at home. There he is.
Ravens Giants. Why can't I think of? There's somebody that came in as like a third string running back that when like everyone was getting hurt. And I can't think of who the fuck it was.
Oh, hold on. These are all guys I've looked up, which is annoying because it shows that I've searched them before. And I hate that. So I'm like, I know where they've been and I know where they haven't been, but I'm just not trusting myself. Oh my God. The problem is the Giants had so many horrendous running backs and then they had Saquon. So it just stopped. Like it just completely cut off. Ooh. What was this guy's name? Hold the phone. I need the 2012 NFL draft. Give me 1 second. They took a running. I know the Giants for a fact took a running back in this draft early. Hold the phone, because if I can find this guy, I am a fucking god. Where is he? Come on. Okay. David Wilson. There's bitch ass is. There he is. I don't know if he lasted in the league long enough to do anything or see anything other than the Giants as a team. I honestly highly doubt he could have possibly suited up for anybody else, but I want to see. Okay. Officially, he did not, which sucks because he was signed by 3 other teams as tryouts, but never made it.
Oh, wow.
That's why I thought the Ravens could have been one of them.
Oh, the obvious one I was thinking of was Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's, yeah.
But there's definitely somebody else that I just can't think of.
I agree. Wait a minute. Cook, come on, brain. Please. It's none of the good safeties. It's none of the good CBs. It's no good linebackers, I don't think. It could be D-line.
Yeah, I don't think it was any linebackers either.
Oh my God.
I feel like there's somebody obvious, like outside of Tyrod Taylor too.
I feel like there is too, but my brain is fucking not finding it. Like, hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay. That's fair. I'll say the obvious one that we're not doing, but Odell.
Well, yeah.
He'd probably be the most obvious. I have one that I like. You let me know what you think. Devontae Freeman.
Wow. Completely forgot about Devontae Freeman.
Another one, Jason Pierre-Paul.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm doing Devontae Freeman because he only played 5 games for the Giants, I think. 4%, yeah.
46.
That's pretty good. So Trent Dilfer for Bucks Ravens was number 1.
That makes
Earl
sense.
Thomas for Seahawks Ravens. That makes sense. OBJ is the number one at all three of the bottom. Josh Gordon. That's crazy. How is that 31? There is no part of my brain that goes, yeah, he was a Seahawk. No part of my brain.
I completely forgot about him on the Seahawks.
Yeah, because it's forgettable.
Yeah, because
Like,
he probably
what?
played like 2 games.
Hold the fuck on. Josh Gordon. What the fuck did he do in Seattle? Okay. So he obviously started with Cleveland, had 2 full seasons missed from drug violations.
Yep.
Comes back. 2018 splits between Cleveland for a game and then traded to New England. Has an actual credit to him. 720 yards in 11 games. That's pretty good. This man had 11 targets as a Seahawk. 11 targets. How the fuck is that 31%? How? That's crazy.
Crazy. Well, now that I'm looking at his page, I see that he played for Tennessee and had 1 target. So now I'm gonna keep that in the memory banks if there's a fucking Tennessee like Cleveland or something.
Yeah, but I'm scared because he got 31 for this shit. I'm like, what do you mean?
True.
That's great. There must have been like 3 people that played this week, and they all picked him.
There
So
had to have been.
like, what? Because even thinking about it, like, how is Tyler Lockett a lower percentage for 5,000 yards career than Josh Gordon is for Browns Seahawks?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Lockett's been in the league since 2014, bro.
I mean, even Odell Beckham as the 5,000 yard receiver
For the Giants.
is a lower percentage.
So that's mind blowing. I'm actually surprised that like Odell was over Plaxico. I guess just because he's newer, but Victor Cruz would be another one that I would like. I think would be guessed a lot. I don't know if he broke 5K, but
Plaxico was definitely the first person that came to my mind.
Same. Just like the memories of that suit. Victor Cruz was fucking 400 yards short. Pussy.
Oh, wow.
It is crazy, though, because there was like that 1 or 2 years where Victor Cruz was like fucking really, really good.
Oh, yeah. He was destroying everybody.
But it's like, what the hell happens to these guys, man?
Nobody ever knows.
Because even looking at like OBJ, like I look at his career stats, he's not even at 8K yet, but you would think he was probably at like 10 plus.
Right.
Based on, I mean, he got drafted in 2014. It's just the fall off after that 2019 season is just legendary.
His fall off was crazy.
He had his final 1,000-yard season was 2019, 133 targets for 74 catches, and he barely broke 1,000 yards. And then next year he had injuries. 2021 obviously was the started in Cleveland, ended up in LA, and then tore his ACL in the Super Bowl, if I recall.
Right. Yeah.
And then obviously the Ravens had him in 23. Nothing crazy at all, like 565 yards.
Yeah, he was hurt every other game.
Just to go from 1305, 1450, 1367 with Eli to start your career to everything else is insane to me.
Oh, yeah.
But he has had like 3 torn ACLs, to be fair, so I guess that'll do it.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Great.
All right, homie.
Looks like that is it here for us. Thank you thank you everybody for tuning in, whether you're tuning in on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever it may be. If you are on YouTube, please hit the like below if you like this episode. Hit the bell. It lets you know when we go live because our schedule's been a little bit different lately. So that lets you know whenever we pop up live with a new episode. And please subscribe as well. That helps us out a lot. Doesn't cost you a single cent. And if you want the audio versions, we are everywhere you get your podcasts. The only difference is we usually don't put the grid part on YouTube that in the other audio versions. So if you want to stick around for the grid and hang out for that, then come to YouTube. But that's it here for us. Thank you, everybody, and we will catch you guys next week.
Peace.